Hey, if you guys are watching this, I want to hit 2,000 subscribers before the month of August. So if you do enjoy what you see here today or anything you might have seen here in the past, consider subscribing. It really just helped me out. And let's get into today's video. I think there's a lot of factors that really affect the characters that we play, characters that we choose to play outside of just your basic design or game plan or archetype, right? Now we're going to cover those aspects, but I think there's also like a social aspect to it that doesn't really get talked about if you don't play fighting games. A lot of the videos that I see saying like this is a character you should play, this is how you pick your character, are geared towards beginners a lot of the time. And I think people who play fighting games, who are coming from other fighting games, they don't really have content like that. They don't have content talking about the experience of picking a character coming from another game, trying to find a character that's like one that you like from a previous title, or not playing the character that your friends play. That's a big thing, right? If somebody in your local community plays the same character, a lot of the times I notice that people don't want to play the same thing because they don't want to play the mirror all the time. I think things like that are pretty interesting, and I want to talk about it. I think your character choice can really reflect you as a player when you get to the higher levels, right? There's players who are known for playing big bodies only. Any game they play, they're going to play big body grappler because every game has one, and that's just what they like. And I think that's really awesome. I don't like grapplers personally. I don't like playing against grapplers, but if you can make a living out of it and make, you know, a legacy out of it, it's pretty cool. Before we get into like the social aspect of things, let's talk about design a little more though. I think that design, if you play fighting games or if you have seen fighting games, can really give away what a character's game plan is, I guess, or archetype. Big body characters are usually grapplers, right? In Strive's case, Nago is a big body and he has a big sword, so not really, but, you know, there's Potemkin, and then there's like zoning characters. I think you could think of Poison, right? If you see Poison's whip in Street Fighter V, you can pretty much assume she is a zoner, and if you see Dhalsim's long limbs, you can assume he's a zoner as well. Characters with guns and different things like that, they're usually zoners too. You can tell a lot by just looking at a character, and you can tell if they're sort of the playstyle you want to engage in. For me on Strive, I saw Ramlethal and I saw Giovanna, and I thought they were both really cool, but again, that social aspect sort of kicked in, and everybody's playing Ramlethal in the beta. I think a lot of people still play her now too. Mostly I see Maze, but a lot of people play Ramlethal too, and that sort of deterred me for some reason from trying that character. I didn't see as many Giovannas, so I wanted to play her because I was already interested and I didn't want to play what everybody else was playing. So I picked Giovanna to start with. And Giovanna's like a very rushdown heavy character, and that's just not how I like to play the game. But she did force me to play like that, and it was pretty fun, right? It was pretty fun for a little while. But the game's been out for like a month now, and I'm not going to lie to you. I got a little bored, right? I got a little bored, and I started playing Ramlethal. I started messing around with Ramlethal, and I think that character suits me a lot better. What sort of led to that decision, right? Like, how did I go from playing a character based on design, right? Giovanna based on design, to playing Ramlethal based on design and gameplay, right? And archetype. You know, she's a little bit more of a zoner because her buttons are super big. And I'll say the biggest hurdle that I had to overcome was that social one, right? There's other people that I know that play that character, so I didn't want to play her, right? Because I don't want to play the mirror match all the time. And there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of Ramlethals. I don't want to play what everybody else is playing. I don't know where that idea comes from, and I'm sure you've experienced it. I don't know where the idea of not wanting to play what everybody else is playing comes from, because there's so many souls, right? Maybe if it was a very common occurrence in people, then there wouldn't be as many souls. But I think you just get over it at some point, right? You play what you want to play, and that's the way you should look at it. 16 characters. Obviously, you're going to overlap with people. You can't expect to be that unique, right? It's not like Mugen. You don't just make... It's not like Salty Bet. You don't just make your own character that's one of one for you. Another thing that was kind of weird that you might have experienced too, when I was younger, right? This happened more in League of Legends, but when I was younger, watching like LCS and stuff like that, when I saw somebody who was known for playing a champion, like I guess we could say Yasuo, right? He wasn't really in the LCS, but he was really known for playing Yasuo, right? And Boxbox really known for playing Riven. And for some reason, that deterred young Drew from wanting to play those characters. It was like, oh, these characters have already reached their apex. There's already somebody known for playing that character. I'll never be that good, so why would I even bother, right? I was thinking that far ahead for no reason. It's very odd to me. That's really why I wanted to make this video. I feel like your character choice goes so much deeper mentally, right? And there's a lot of stuff that people are afraid to talk about, like stupid stuff like that. Like not wanting to play a character because somebody's already better than you at them, or somebody already plays them in your area or in your community. I think those are really like silly things, but they do, you know, lurk in the back of your mind sometimes. Eventually you just want to have fun and you get over it, right? I think that's a very immature thing, right? That for me at least, right? I'm not going to say that's completely immature for everybody, but I noticed the older I got, the less I really cared about stuff like that. However, not wanting to play the same character as my friends, that still persists, right? Because obviously, like I said, mirror matches aren't as fun, and seeing somebody else be more successful with a character that you are studying or you're like trying to get really good at, sometimes it hurts, right? But you have to persist. It's very much an ego thing at that point. You can't, I don't think anything else attributes to that feeling besides the ego. Anyways, I got a little bit off topic, but yeah, we started at design. We ended up at not wanting to play the same character as our friends and my ego. The more and more games I play, I realized that I liked characters that have a certain that have like certain attributes, right? I like big buttons and I like being able to convert off of them, right? And I got spoiled by that with Granblue. I played Catalina in Granblue, and that character was so much fun. But for a long time, I couldn't put my finger on what I really liked about her. You know, I remember, you know, her buttons being very large and being able to convert off of them, and being able to play neutral from out of your opponent's range, which is something I really like. That's an attribute that I really like about a character, is that when you can sort of poke them from a distance. I don't like playing full-on zoning, but I like big buttons. I like playing from out of the opponent's distance, but still in my distance. And I got that idea from playing Camille in League of Legends, right? Her W allows you to poke the opponent from outside of their range a lot of the time. But you're not a zoner, right? You're not a zoner. You're just kind of bullying them. Being able to sort of pester your opponent from safety and playing like a coward is what I like, honestly. And I think Ramlethal really sort of lets you do that, right? You can pester people with far slash or jump slash, and then you can do like far slash into heavy slash into sword set. And once you're in, dude. Like, you can do stupid amounts of damage in the corner if you can hold them there. That neutral game of really just using big buttons to bully your opponent into the corner is something that I think is really fun. I never would have known that about myself, you know, that is like something that I really enjoy, not only in fighting games but in League of Legends. But I would have never known that if I didn't play Granblue, right? Just because Catalina is a very unique character in that sense. A lot of people like to draw the comparison that Chun-Li has that, right? She has big buttons, you can convert off of some of them. But she's a charge character, and I just don't like charge characters, so I never gave her a shot. So yeah, even though Granblue didn't really get its time in the sun because, you know, COVID, netcode, whatever it may be, I'm so grateful that I played it, and I don't regret buying it at all. Twice. They got my ass twice. I paid like $120 total for that game. I bought it on the PlayStation, on the little Hong Kong account. If you guys weren't there when that game came out, you had to go buy like a Hong Kong PSN card, make a Hong Kong PSN, and then go ahead and purchase the game, and then it would be on your like NA version or whatever. It would be on your other PSN if you wanted to get it a little early. So yeah, that was an experience. And when I booted up that game, I think it had the same, if not less, characters than Strive. I'm not really sure. And I started with Catalina, and then Narmaya came out. I was like, oh, this character's cool. She got some stances, but she didn't have that range that Catalina had, and it wasn't too much different, but it was different enough to where I didn't feel as comfortable, and I ended up going back to Catalina until I eventually sort of dropped the game when I couldn't play it anymore. I think that's a very important thing to pull away from the characters that you do play and you do like from other games, is like, what do you like about them? Do you like hit confirming, right? I play Karen in Street Fighter 5. Do I like hit confirming? Is that something that I look for in a character? A lot of hit confirms. Do I like big buttons like Catalina or whatever it may be? I think there's something about the characters that you play in any game, right? I talked about League of Legends a little bit here, but it's not, the design draws you in, but I don't think it holds you. I don't think the design of your character always makes you play for them for like thousands of hours, right? There's something about the gameplay itself of that character that you really liked, and it's important to note that. Anyways, I think that's it. If this helped you sort of break a character crisis, which I hope it did, that's something that I was having. That's what prompted this video, because I was playing Giovanna. I didn't really enjoy her anymore, but I didn't want to play Ram because everybody was playing her, and then I sort of got over that, right? Like, I got over it, picked the character. This is fun. I think I'm going to play this character from now on. I don't really care who else plays that. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.